I am not here for dry, bland keto desserts. And this strawberry cake is anything but. It is soft, fluffy, and packed with roasted strawberry flavor, since I actually roast the strawberries, and I do it all without adding a bunch of extra carbs. This gets topped with a creamy strawberry cream cheese frosting, and this dessert is giving full-on summer vibes without compromise. The only way to get maximum strawberry flavor in this cake is to use fresh strawberries, and you need to roast them. You're gonna need around 5 large strawberries for this too. You can always add more if you want, but I am trying to keep it as low as carb as possible, so that's why I'm just limiting myself to 5, even though berries don't really have that much carbs. Cut the tops off and then slice them vertically into thin slices. Then sprinkle in 2 teaspoons of your favorite sugar-free sweetener that measures cup for cup with sugar, and then add on a pinch of salt. Why salt? Well, 2 reasons. First, salt actually enhances the sweetness of the berries, but then it also helps pull out some of that water from the berries, which will concentrate their flavor when they roast, and it helps caramelize them a bit more. After you give those a toss, spread them out on a parchment-lined baking tray, and we'll bake these in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for around 10 minutes. Now I know what you're thinking. Can I do this with any other berry other than strawberries? And the answer is yes. You can easily turn this cake into a blueberry cake or raspberry cake, blackberry cake. You're basically just going to use the same method. Once the strawberries are roasted, add them to a food processor or blender and then puree it until it's smooth. At this point, it's tempting to just start eating this by the spoonful, but come on, have some control, Annie. Because it's worth it to use this delicious puree in our cake to make it concentrated strawberry flavor. For the cake, grab a large bowl and add in 1 3/4 cup of almond flour, a 1/3 cup of coconut flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And don't worry, I know some of you might be panicking by hearing the words coconut flour. This cake will not taste like coconut because we're gonna add 1 special ingredient that's gonna help flush out any of that coconut flavor. Once you whisk the dry ingredients together, you're gonna set this aside and then grab another bowl because, hey, I did not promise you that there would be no dishes in this recipe. We're gonna dirty some bowls. Add in 3/4 cup of softened unsalted butter and 1/4 cup of sugar-free sweetener. One of the reasons why I like this recipe is that it doesn't call for an ungodly amount of sweetener since we're using the natural sugars from those 5 berries that we roasted. Cream the butter and the sweetener together with an electric mixer. Keep mixing until the butter is fluffy, which will usually take around 3 to 5 minutes. Creaming the butter with the sweetener might seem like an extra step, but it makes a big difference, especially in low-carb baking. This step actually helps whip air into the batter so that your cake will turn out soft and fluffy instead of dense like some keto cakes can be. It also helps the sweetener to dissolve and mix evenly, which is important when you're working with sugar-free alternatives because sometimes they can get a little gritty because they don't dissolve all that well. So don't skip this part because it's key to getting that light cake-like texture that we really want from a keto dessert. There are so many delicious treats to enjoy during the summer, and I love to be able to still have them and make them sugar-free and low carb. But another way that I stay on track, especially if I need to just break through a plateau or have a reset, is to do a 3-day fast. And the easiest way that I found to do that is with Burn Box. I just finished a 72-hour fast using Burn Box, and honestly, it was the smoothest one I've ever done. No energy crashes, no major hunger. I actually felt good the whole time. Burn Box is a science-backed fasting kit that helps you get through a 3-day fast while supporting fat loss and your metabolic health. You get everything you need. Grapefruit flavored fiber shakes to help fight off hunger, a zesty lime electrolyte mix to help keep your energy up, and soothing bone broth that I like to drink that would help kind of curb some cravings in the afternoon. Plus, it comes with a guide that has all of the steps that you need to take, plus tips on how to get through your fast. Tips like meditation, taking Epsom salt baths, just what to do to help get your mind off of things to help ride through those tough parts. Each day is simple. Shake in the morning, bone broth midday, another shake in the evening, and just electrolytes and water throughout. And the fiber that they use in the shakes really helps keep my stomach quiet, so I stayed focused and I felt great. And now I'm easing myself back into eating with some low-carb, protein-packed foods so that I won't undo any of my progress. If you've been thinking about doing a 3-day fast, BurnBox is hands down the way to go. Like I said before, it makes fasting for 3 days easy. Use my link in the description and enter code KetoFocus to get up to 10% off of your kit. All right, back to the cake. Next that goes into the cake batter are 4 eggs and something to help keep our cake moist, but also helps to get rid of that coconut flavor that I know some of you guys might be concerned about. I add in a 1/4 cup of sour cream and then scoop in about a 1/4 cup of strawberry puree. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, because that's just what you do. It's like every sweet recipe requires vanilla extract. Why not? Mix that until it's combined. And then next you just slowly sprinkle in those dry ingredients and keep mixing until all of that is combined. Okay, now look at this cake. It looks very vanilla looking. And I know that strawberry puree did not do much to the color of this cake, which is disappointing, but I mean, it was only a 1/4 cup. But that's okay, because I'm gonna add in a few drops of food color in here to make it look pink. Because people are gonna question your sanity if you tell them it's a strawberry cake, but you give them a white cake. Then scoop your cake batter into a square baking dish that you've lined with parchment paper. And this gets baked in a 325° Fahrenheit oven for around 33 to 35 minutes, or until the center is set, and when you stick in a clean knife, it comes out clean. Don't stick in a dirty knife, because then it's hard to tell. Plus, that's just gross. Remove it from the oven and let it cool completely before you frost it. Speaking of frosting, I know we have a lot of that strawberry puree left over, so let's use it to make our frosting. In a large bowl, cream together 5 ounces of cream cheese that's softened to room temperature, along with 5 tablespoons of unsalted softened butter, and beat that with an electric mixer until it's fluffy. Again, you want to incorporate that air into the frosting so it's a little bit fluffier. Then slowly mix in a cup of powdered sugar-free sweetener, and then the remaining strawberry puree. Once that's smooth, spread that on top of your cooled cake. And this cake is so beautiful. It is so delicious, but if you really want to make a showstopper keto dessert, you have to try my keto flag pie. It's a berry pie with a flaky crust that is low carb and looks like an American flag. Click here to see how to make it, and once again, check out BurnBox if you want to try a guided 3-day fast. Click that link right down below or scan right here if you're watching on your TV for a special deal.